even though you try to be positive, the mind has ended up accepting the negative thing. On the other hand, when you actually add the word as of now, till now, what have you done? You have told the mind that, well, I accept this is where I am going wrong. This is what I feel right now, but I am also correcting myself, and now I am telling you that work based on my thought that everything would work out correctly. That's a start. That's a start.
Selfish nahi hona.
Well, it depends. Everybody in this world is selfish, aren't we?
Aren't we? We everybody.
We have to be. See, simply because, to give you an example, I like a girl, I want to get married to her. My parents tell me that don't marry to her. I leave a girl because my parents have told me. One way to look at it is I love my parents so much that because of them, in my non-selfish motive, I left the girl. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is, well, my parents are so important to me that their happiness makes me feel happy, and so because if they would not be happy, I would be sad, and I don't want to be sad in life, so I left the girl. Now, whether I have been selfish or not, that's the question. Correct. It's what you feel is more important for you. Then we generalize and rationalize and say, no, we have done this because of the girl, or we have done this because of the parents. When the matter of fact is, the bottom line is, this is what, given the circumstances, you thought is the best thing you could do. And that choice is made by you, it's not made by somebody else. So somewhere you have thought of yourself. Okay. Coming back to this. So that's a start, where once you catch yourself, you say, okay, I've been thinking of it this way till now, I'm ready to change. The second thing is, you only have negative thoughts when you are doing things that you don't like doing, or when you are free. How many people have seen children playing video games? Do you think while playing a game that they love playing, they have any negative thought about what their teacher would come and tell them tomorrow? No chance. It's because they are doing what they love doing. Now, not everybody is as blessed as a child who would be allowed to do whatever they wish to do. Actually they are, but we feel that we cannot. Which means, whenever you are free, or whenever you are doing things which you don't like doing, can you make it a habit of chanting? The reason why chanting. It doesn't matter what you chant. You might just chant, I am the best in the world. I don't care. Simple. But the point is, you are keeping your mind busy. The moment you keep your mind busy, now there is no chance that you can have negative thoughts. Around 6 years back, when I was into a situation which took me into all this field, how I began was simple. Somehow at that time, I used to resonate a lot with the word Om. My first step towards positive thinking was, I would make it a habit the moment I know I am free. See, there were times when I would be thinking negative and I wasn't even aware that I am thinking negative. So, it happened. But at most times when I was aware that yes, I am free now and I have nothing to do, and the possibility is that I will be thinking something, I'll start chanting more. What it did was, it trained my mind over a period of time that whenever I am free, I have to chant Om. Initially, for a couple of months, it was an effort where I had to actually sit and chant and make myself realize, I am free, I need to sit and chant. But post 2-3 months, the mind has actually accepted the idea that whenever I am free, all simply needs to do is chant. So the negative thinking problem, to a large extent, was settled for me then and there. Another advantage of chanting. We all resonate with different gods, right? Maybe for people, especially Hinduism. For Islam and Christianity and other religions, basically there is a single God, so it's different. But in Hinduism, we all sort of resonate with different kinds of gods. I have a friend who basically specializes in mantra workshops and mantra therapy and everything. So, based on my discussion with him, he said, see Nitin, mantras have a way of working. How do they work is simply, every god that you pray to represents a different frequency. So, Ma Saraswati represents the frequency of Vidya. Lord Krishna represents the frequency of true love. Now, when you want to develop a particular ability, and when you chant the name of those gods, you are basically attuning yourself to that frequency. And And so people are told that when you are studying, please chant Saraswati ke mantra. So now that depends on your choice, which level of frequency you want to tune. If you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, or if you don't believe in the multiple gods theory, you can simply chant Allah, you can simply chant God. It's a choice. So that's one way. So apart from the fact that you can actually be aware of your thoughts and add the words like as on, till now, after the thoughts to make them positive, chanting when you're free is very good. What else? See, I would like you to share, because you are around 40 people now. There is a limit to how much I would know, and 40 people together would obviously know a lot. See, with mantra, with chants, the point is there is a universal consciousness that has already defined what a chant already stands for. Okay? So, the moment you say the mantra that you are talking about, now there is a major force in the universe, or a lot of people in the universe who believe that this mantra stands for this. So immediately when you are saying it, the entire effect comes. Again, the reason in mantra was simply because in my personal experience I realized that trying to speak positive words to myself initially, I kept on having a dispute with myself. That, well, I am truly feeling that things are wrong. How can I really tell to myself that things are good? There was a contradiction. It was a dispute with myself. So I realized rather than directly going or jumping to a positive thought, let's just make myself neutral first. Let's reach a state where I know I'm free of negative thoughts. So that's where mantras help me, or Om help me. Once I was more or less sure that yes, the impact of negative thoughts in my life is less, I'm not thinking like negative, then I began with the affirmations. So then I started using affirmations, and I started using self-hypnosis, meditations, and different things. But I did it all after I was sure that I have reached a state where the impact of negative thinking is less. The reason why I began meditation later on was because one of my teachers had told me that the problem with meditation and self-hypnosis is that when you are negative, see, all these things take you deep into your subconscious mind. And basically the result is coming from your subconscious mind. Now when you are negative in life, when you are doing self-hypnosis or meditation, you are going in with those negative thoughts. So you are trying to plant that one positive thought, but for planting that one positive thought, you are taking 10 negative thoughts along with you, which is a sort of dice. I am not sure whether it's really true or not, but based on what I was told, I thought, well, why to take a chance? So I went along with the chanting first and then the affirmation. Okay. Yeah, about the chanting, see again, it works on the same principle that I've told you, that my friend shared. That every chant has an energy associated with it. And when you are chanting that name or that mantra, you are raising your frequency level to that frequency of the mantra. Now, if the frequency of the mantra that we've just spoken about is protection and is well-being, I'll give you the reason why. See, universe is not dependent on some chant to give you what you want. It gives you everything that you want. And maybe that's the biggest problem that we are into. That it keeps on giving us everything that we want. The problem is we are not sure what are we wanting at times. I had a friend today on the Facebook who just sent a message saying, Nitin, once upon a time you told me that dreams are all the possibilities that we have. Now, the question is, how do you realize whether it's your dream or it's somebody else's dream? That's one. And second, what if you have realized, what if you have achieved the dream and you are not happy? And my answer was simply, one, it doesn't really matter whose dream it is, as long as you feel happy after achieving it. Second, when you are dreaming, always be sure of what you are dreaming, because you are dreaming of it today in the now. You might not achieve it today. You may achieve it tomorrow. Most of us basically have a problem that we ask for things in life today, based on today's circumstances. Circumstances change. We get the thing tomorrow. But then we are very sad कि यार जब चाहिए था वो नहीं मिला. So be very sure of what you ask. I'll give you a simple example. Is around 10 years back, Maruti was a huge thing. So 10 years back, we thought, well, I need to buy I wish I had a Maruti. It took time for some reasons, maybe for some of your thoughts or for what you have done, and you got a Maruti today. Now you're not happy about it. You have achieved what you wanted to achieve. Your dream was to achieve Maruti.